morning. It's Friday, July 1st. I hope you're all ready for your big 4th of July weekend. I know I am. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm your guest host, Randy Ramsey. I'm the director of Southwest Alternate Media Project and an HCC adjunct. With me today is Benji Escobar, HCCTV videographer and an HCC filmmaking student who's going to tell everyone how to find us live.
Yeah, hello everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. We are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page and YouTube. Not HCC, but you have to put Houston Community College District. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on HCCTV's own TV channel at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Good morning, Benji. Look, what a nice view you have behind you.
Oh yeah, this is one of the shots that I took with my drone a couple of years ago. So I kind of use it as a cool background for my Zoom meetings.
No, I think it's great. You know what? It's better than my messy office background, which is just sort of what we're living with right now. Today is Film Friday, as always, and we will focus on the final frontier, that is films about space, with the help of NASA. Jim will be with you in about 10 minutes. That's Jim Townsend, the executive director of the Houston Cinema Arts Society, which is the co-presenter of CineSpace with NASA. So give us 10 minutes and we'll get right back to you, Jim. Super excited. But first, I get to talk to Dr. Melissa Waters, interim co-director of Accreditation and Compliance and the faculty director of Education Policy. And welcome back to the show, Melissa.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited to have you here because I personally have done accreditation before, so I feel the pain and the energy. Yes. And I know that you're on the other side of it, so that must feel really good. So let's talk about SACS, the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, which accredits us, and how that went.
Well, so it's gone pretty well. They're our accrediting body, and we reaffirm our accreditation with them every 10 years. This is one of the most important things that HCC does because accreditation not only allows us to offer federal financial aid, but it also provides us an impetus to do a deep sort of self-study and look for continuous improvement. It helps us check in with ourselves over time and see how we're providing quality instruction with appropriate supports to our students. And so we've been really going through it the past year. Susan Gall, Ty Vereen, Jackie Cardenas, and I collaborated over the past couple of years on HCC's reaffirmation work. We connected with leaders across all units of the college to do things like draft and submit our compliance report, which we sent out in March of 2021. And then the SACS Offsite Review Committee came back to us with a focused report, which asked for more information and sometimes clarification on some of the principles. So we responded to that in yet another report.
It's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. Did you not feel a little bit sometimes like, wow, if this was actual paper, how many trees?
Yeah, and 10 years ago, it was actual paper. So this time around, having the ability to do it electronically really helped us.
It speeds it up a little bit too, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. And then last October, there was a COVID spike. And so we did what is titled an on-site visit. We did it all virtually. So 2 weeks in October, they came. They visited 14 locations, including regular campuses, high schools, early college high schools, career centers. And, during that visit, they met virtually with more than 300 students, faculty, staff, administrators. And it was amazing, and it was all on Zoom.
Oh,
I know, right?
Which is a little exhausting sometimes.
Yes, it was exhausting. But at the conclusion of that virtual visit, we got this really amazing news that we finished the process with no recommendations. And so for reference, 10 years ago when we did it, we had 12 recommendations. So HCC came a real long distance in the 10 years between the two big assessments.
And to come back with no recommendations, that's unusual for any facility, any college at all.
Yeah.
Like there's always, I mean, come on, there's always one grumpy that has one thing.
Right.
But for nothing, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was great. And now, though, because it was a virtual visit, they have to do a verification visit where they come and confirm that all of the things that they thought was true through our virtual visit, they confirm that they are in fact true. So they are going to come. 3 members of the large committee are going to come August the 8th through the 10th, and they're going to visit at least those 14 locations. And they're going to divide up the locations between the 3 of them. So we have just begun sort of planning for that visit, trying to build out a schedule. So a little word of warning, many of you may be hearing from Susan and me over the next few weeks as we set up those tours and the conversations with faculty, staff, students.
Just when we thought safe,
right?
I think they're just coming for the barbecue.
Exactly.
Really. I just think they're like, it's a Houston town. It's good food, good museums. Let's just
why not?
Good
food. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So now you're doing that. And then I think you're moving on to, another part of that, which is you have to submit a QEP, a quality enhancement plan. So what is ours and how are you going about that?
You're right. As part of a decennial review, this is a requirement that you submit a quality enhancement plan. And a quality enhancement plan is sort of a 5-year plan of something that the institution is going to do to enhance teaching and learning. So our quality enhancement plan is personalized learning pathways. And the goal of this plan is to improve student success through an approach which provides holistic, individualized support for students throughout their journey from initial interest in program enrollment all the way through to completion. Now, that is a huge goal. So the quality enhancement plan just takes a small bite out of that. The quality enhancement plan is going to focus on implementing personalized learning pathways from entry through the first 15 credits. So really like the first semester for a full-time student, the first 2 semesters for a part-time student.
Okay. So that really will allow students to individualize the way that their own education is going to go based on their own needs, their own schedule, their own wants and desires. And which I love because a lot of, especially our students over at filmmaking and music, it's a really unusual pathway. So being able to specialize it and go, no, I've decided what I really want is this is helpful.
And not only I really want this, but this is how I want to get there.
Exactly.
Right. So Dr. Betty Fortune and Dr. Desmond Lewis have been co-leaders of this work through the development. And recently, Dr. Darren Baskin has been named as the director of the Quality Enhancement Plan. And just a little word, like earlier this week, Dr. Fortune, Dr. Lewis, Dr. Baskin, and along with Dr. Kurt Ewan, hosted a collaboration tour. And it was held at the WHI, where they discussed how the Quality Enhancement Plan connects to things like the HCC mission, to our strategic plan, to our work with achieving the dream. And that was recorded. So if you weren't able to attend that collaboration event, you'll be able to watch it and hear from the leaders of this work, sort of how they envision the rollout of it. If we do this right, we'll be able to use the Quality Enhancement Plan to align a lot of the excellent work that people are already doing in instruction and student services. I think it's a really exciting time for this work.
Oh, I think it sounds incredibly exciting. I can't wait till we start experimenting a little more with co-teaching because I certainly love co-teaching.
Oh,
that's a big personal passion.
Yes, I couldn't agree more.
What about Mosaic and Me?
So Mosaic and Me grew out of the strategic planning process, which culminated with our current strategic plan, which is titled Embracing Houston's Future. So Mosaic and Me is really built on the HCC way, which was about values and shared behaviors that we were all going to use. And so Mosaic and Me just kind of fleshes those out and extends them, where we really identify shared values and individual habits, those things that spark deep and lasting positive cultural change and momentum. So the shared values are things like commitment to collaborate, devotion to service, empower to trust, and passion to learn, drive to innovate, and so on. And then the individual habits all hook into those kind of behaviors that we can use to support those values. And I think what's really cool about all of this work is the way the pieces fit together. So for example, the SAC COC visit helped us focus on continuous improvement. The comprehensive framework that guides the strategic plan has directed us to our strategic goals as well as ways to measure them. The quality enhancement plan is going to help us achieve those goals. And Mosaic and Me helps us build a culture that supports all of this work as we all work toward fulfilling our mission. It's really exciting time, and I'm excited to play a role.
I'm super excited to have you. I mean, it looks like you're really just jamming and getting it done, which is like, it's terrific and super reassuring for the rest of us. But I understand that you have a personal passion project, reading culture. So what's the fall project?
So Reading Cultures, every semester chooses a country and a book for us all to read together. And students at the end of it have the opportunity to apply for a scholarship. And so this fall series is going to be Ecuador, and the novel is The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina. And I think they're really going to like it. It's so good. It's magical realism. They're going to love it.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much and thank you for sharing your personal passion project with us. That's
absolutely.
Anytime we can share a book, anytime I can share a book or something that I've read or seen, I'm so excited to just pass it on, right? You get no, you have to do it. Thank you so much, Dr. Melissa Miller-Waters. Thank you for being with us. And Melissa, I hope to see you again soon.
Yes. Thank you.
I so appreciate you being here and all the work that you're doing. And now we're going to move over I'm going to toss it over to Benji, who's interviewing Jim Townsend, the executive director of the Houston Cinema Arts Society. And Benji, take it away.
Yeah, so like she said, we have Jim Townsend, the executive director of Houston Cinema Arts Society, which is the co-presenter of CineSpace in a partnership with NASA. So thank you for joining us, Jim.
Thank you, Benji. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you for being here. But before we get into CineSpace, which sounds pretty awesome just by the name of it, can you tell us about your main event, the Houston Cinema Arts Festival?
Sure. Yeah. So this is the 14th annual Houston Cinema Arts Festival. This one is going to be from November 10th through the 17th. It's going to be at a number of venues all across the city. And also virtually. Most of our in-person programming will be from the 10th through the 15th, and the last couple of days are going to be virtual. Well, we will be showing a lot of the films that we can show virtually throughout the festival too, hoping to draw a larger audience.
Awesome, fantastic. So it's been going on for 14 years, and now we have this CineSpace. Is that going to be a part of this festival, or is that its own thing?
Absolutely. So CineSpace, we're now in the 8th year of CineSpace. It's been a part of the festival since over the last several years. And it was this a partnership that grew out of wanting to do something with NASA, and a really pretty amazing NASA collaboration. What happens is people use archival footage from NASA's 50 plus years of archives and create something new. And the guidelines are very specific about what percentage of NASA archival footage has to be incorporated into that storytelling. But the short films are no longer than 10 minutes. 10 minutes is the maximum. I've seen some that were 30 seconds and brilliant. That about fits my attention span these days. Some of them are just, some of them are documentary, and some of them are narrative. Some of them are very experimental. We get a lot of music videos. We get animated, just kind of in every genre. And it's really kind of amazing to see what people all over the world do using NASA archival footage, using images of space and telling new stories. We got last year something like over 250 entries from 41 or 42 countries. So it's also really cool to see that sort of multicultural connectivity. Everybody's sort of inspired by space. And so one of our special categories is the film that best depicts unity and inclusion.
Well, it's great to hear that so many people around the world have this type of creativity and they have that love for filmmaking. So, which is good to hear since I'm a filmmaking student, it gives me that drive and that passion to maybe make something of my own,
You should, Benji. We still have 2 weeks. The deadline to submit is July 15th.
I'll be looking at that information there. And I also heard that the well-known director, Richard Linklater, Houston native, is going to be a judge again this year. So how many entries do you expect for him to look over, or all of you all together?
He's going to watch all 200. No, we don't make him watch all of them. We'll narrow it down to probably 16 finalists, give or take. And then Richard Linklater will select the winners as he has in the past. I would argue that his most recent film, Apollo 10.5, is a long CineSpace film. It incorporates NASA storytelling. And so it's very sort of thematically connected and goes with his passions too. So he's been very gracious to judge those.
Okay, so if anybody's interested in this, kind of like myself, what are the prices we're looking for for the competition?
What are the prizes?
Yeah.
So the grand prize is $10,000. And then there's a second and a third prize, which are scaffolded down. And then there's these $4,000 special category prizes, the unity and inclusion, and then something that depicts careers in STEM in technology and education.
And so when is the deadline for the entries?
July 15th.
Okay.
So 2 weeks. Better get on it.
Yeah. I've also heard about the Borders or No Borders competition. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I'd love to. So Borders, No Borders is another short film competition that we have. That one is also for cash prizes. The prizes are a little smaller for that one too. But this is a relatively new, this is a third year of doing it, short film competition that people submit from the region. So Texas and the states bordering Texas and Mexico. And they are sort of thematically connected by this idea of cultural exchange across borders. So we had some really incredible films in both the narrative category and the documentary category. So you can win best narrative or best documentary.
Okay. Are there any cool films that you've seen come from that?
Yes. Yes, but I'm not going to pick my favorites. It would be unfair.
No, it's just really cool that you have that dialogue there. We're like talking about the borders and Texas and Mexico, even bringing some films from Mexico. Like I heard, that's pretty cool.
We accept films in any language, and so we do get a lot of Spanish language films, and they're just really wonderful to be able to share that and to be able to sort of like champion our region and to help grow local filmmakers, which is a big part of what Houston Cinema Arts Society wants to do, is to be a resource for filmmakers in the region and help more films come from here.
Yeah. So, and then finally, Houston Cinema Arts Society is making some strategic changes. Is that right? Is that what's going on with?
Yep. We're in the middle of that now. We are working with our board and with our community partners and hoping to connect with folks like Randy at Swamp and with all of our educational partners like at HCC to sort of come together and figure out how we can not just show a great film festival, which we've done for 14 years, but to show a film festival that is more inclusive and it is more reflective of Houston's diversity, but also to year-round in our general programming, do everything that we can to be more of a resource for local filmmakers, and then to use cinema and the art of cinema more strategically within our communities to provide healing, inspiration, and education in more targeted ways. It's always been kind of our idea that cinema is the art form most capable of connecting people and fostering empathy and bridging the gaps between cultures. And Houston is the most diverse city in the United States. So it stands to reason that we should have a robust film community. We get lots of great support for the arts in this city, but somehow film continues to be underrepresented. So we're just sort of doing what we can with our friends and with our community partners to make sure that a life of film can happen here in Houston.
Awesome. And has there been anybody who you've seen like submit these films, like a local filmmaker that has actually gone out and like reached out and gone to work in like major production movies and stuff like that? Have you seen any stories of that case?
Constantly. Yeah, I mean, constantly. That people will go out and they'll make movies and they'll be successful. My only issue is that for too long, it's felt like you had to leave Houston to go off and be successful in the film world. And New York and LA are great. I lived in LA for several years. I got my master's there with at the same time as Jenny Waldo, whose film Acid Test, Jenny Waldo at HCC, professor film Acid Test, was part of Houston Cinema Arts Festival. So, Jenny had the same experience. You go off to LA, you go off to New York. And I think that we can sort of grow a community where film comes from here and we celebrate the filmmakers who are here.
I think that's an amen moment, Benji. You got to throw that one up there, a little amen.
Yeah, I love to hear that because Houston, there's not a lot of production done here. And
there's a ton of production done here. That's a total myth. We had 2 Netflix shows shooting here last fall. We had 2 features shooting here. It's a myth. There's lots of production here in town. But that's a question for Alfred Cervantes, our film commissioner, who's a regular guest and a good pal. Jim, before you go, I'm not going to let you go without asking you, what's in the theaters right now that's a must-see according to Jim Townsend?
Well, I'm going to lie. I am desperate to see Everything Everywhere All at Once. And it was playing at South by.
Yes.
Because I was so busy watching all the Texas films that were playing at South by, I missed it. So that's one that I really, really want to see. I think that my suspicion is that that's the one that people are going to be talking about for years to come. So,
yeah, absolutely.
I haven't seen it. I know that that's the one.
I have seen it, and I'm going to be talking about it for the rest of my life.
I was also surprisingly really touched by Marcel the Shell with Shoes On with Jenny Slate, little talking shell movie.
Yes. That was really good. Do you know, I'm really looking forward to Mr. Miller's List, which I know is like a very Jane Austen kind of, but it feels soothing to me. And in these days right now, soothing feels good. But of course, Jurassic Domination, just for the CGI, you got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Jim, so much for being here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing more of you, and I'm looking forward to working with you. And we hope we'll see you back here again soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, Benji.
Thanks so much. Bye. All right. Now, Benji, anything you're watching this weekend? Really quick, you got like 20 seconds.
I was actually looking at the showings, and there's like, I still have to catch up on Top Gun Maverick.
Totally worthwhile.
Go see that. What's the new movie that I saw this weekend? I can't remember, but there's a few that I have to catch.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to be back in a movie theater, having communal experiences with my people.
Yeah, right.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Benji, thanks for co-hosting. I super appreciate it. Benji's brother is going to be in my summer camp film workshop this summer. I'm super looking forward to it.
Yeah.
And we have some news and announcements. So, Benji, why don't you start off?
Yeah, so we have the summer audio workshops with HCC's David Sharma. This 4-week recording course touches on music theory, creating beats, sampling, remixing, and using Ableton's live session and arrangement views. That'll be taking place noon to 4 p.m. on Saturdays, July 9th, 16th, 23, and 30th. HCC's new audio recording studio in North Forest campus. And we'll have the link to register and more info on the post after the show. Our
STEM Summer Camp, HCC's Community Learning Program, and Texas A&M AgriLife have 2 more STEM Summer VR Swift camps, both coming up in July. July 18th through the 22nd is at HCC's North Forest campus. July 25th through 29th, HCC Southwest's West Loop campus. We'll have the link in the post, in our post after the show.
And credit where credit due, book and supplies credit. Financial aid grants and loans may be available to aid students this summer, a book credit for books and supplies. Students can use the summer 22 book credit through August 1st. We'll have the financial aid book credit info on our post after the show.
HCC license plates are back. You can get custom HCC license plates available now for order. So if you order yours today, you're helping a student tomorrow. A portion of the proceeds from each sale supports student scholarships from the HCC Foundation. We have a link for that in our post after the show.
Everybody, don't forget July 4th holiday. So no up to the minute on Monday because of next week's Independence Day holiday. We will not air a show. So don't look forward to one on Monday, but we will be back on Tuesday.
And more summer classes are coming up. Fall registration is ongoing. If you're in my class, don't look yet for your course stuff because it's just not in there. Shh, don't tell anyone. Totally did it. So you can still register for the smaller summer semesters, but fall 2022 registration is going on now. Course options are still online anytime, online on a schedule, where the meeting time is set and a course meets online at those stated times per the HCC schedule. Then there's the hybrid, which is the lecture class meets partially face-to-face and partially virtually. In person, which is face-to-face courses with really traditional patterns at various locations. Being an old lady, I like those a lot. Hybrid lab, which are lab studio courses. So for registration to all HCC programs, you go to hccs.edu/apply. And, take a look out. We're super excited to have the kids back. Up next, after the holiday, we will welcome the HCC student Nicole Kwan, who will join the National Alliance for Mental Issues for an upcoming Mental Health Matters lunch called Mental Health 101. And of course, we have our usual weekly visits from guests for Tasty Tuesday, Gaming Wednesday, and Thursday's virtual Family Fun Day. Thank you all so much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time and have a great holiday weekend with your friends, family, anyone you want to, and try not to blow yourselves up, okay? Just keep it to a low roar. Look forward to it.